everything that I've done, I feel like has kind of led up to this point.
Sure.
You know? Like from, I don't know, man, I guess I was in restaurants first, right?
Okay.
You learn customer service, you learn you learn how to deal with people, you learn how to, all that kind of stuff. And then, you know, I wanted to be a programmer, and I went to school for that. And
did you?
Yeah.
Really?
So, like, I did a little bit of programming, I did some like Visual Basic, you know, I ended up learning how to do basics, you know, like the background stuff. That's what I was planning on doing, you know, and I was working, going for that. Did some stuff within my company, like I wasn't on that team. I was on just, you know, a small team, and the work that we were doing, we were transferring stuff, and I ended up working with a lot of the business analysts on this application we did, and I had to go through all the code, figured out what the problem was, ended up saving the company tons of money. They sent me on a trip to Europe, got to experience that. That was kind of cool.
Wow. First
day back was my last day with the company. I switched over to real estate. It sounds crazy, right? Like that.
No, it doesn't.
No, like seriously,
it doesn't.
Like when I told my son that story and I was telling him all about what I did and like how it worked out, he was like, "Well, why aren't we rich?" I said, "Well, really, it's because I never stuck with anything long enough, you know." So just like you had that look, like, "Well, why'd you switch?" Well, I was already in the process of switching, you know, like I'd already kind of given up, like, okay, I'm not going to make it. Oh, you know, like it's, you know, they don't want to hire me into there. They don't want to, you know, whatever. And I, you know, so, okay, well, let's try this way. So I go that way, you know, and I do real estate and loved it. Had a great time. Started off awesome, you know. Market starts crashing. You know, we made a bunch of changes. Even within that, I was in real estate for 5 years. I was in 3 companies.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Like I ended up owning my own brokerage that was a franchise, and then sold that. Did an independent. Market starts tanking. We kind of looked at family. I was so busy. I mean, literally, we were waking up, taking my kids to daycare, going to the office. My wife and I were both working together. We go back to, you know, go to pick them up, go back to the office with the kids, let them, you know, play in one of the rooms, and you know, like that was kind of like their daycare where we're trying to do our and we said, what the are we doing? Like this, it's a way, you know, like we're killing ourselves. And really the moment of truth was my daughter came home, kindergarten, you know, well, before kindergarten, you know, like I was home more during the day, so she'd see me, but when kindergarten starts, I don't see her, you know, and so she comes home with a picture of the family, you know, my wife, my son, her, honey, where's dad? He's at work. And it was like, okay. So, you know, like we just looked at everything, said, well, what do we want to do? What's important? You know, like our kids are young. We got one opportunity to have them, you know, we got a whole opportunity at life. We went to Hawaii, we got a lot of family there. Super glad we did. We got to spend time with my wife's grandfather. A lot of time. He was just another special man that just, you know, like, he is the epitome, I don't know, hard work and simplicity. You know, he was a Filipino guy. He was in construction. You know, like by the standards of a lot of the people I live around now, he would be considered poor and, you know, like judged upon about like not having things. Dude died a millionaire. Because he didn't spend his money. He didn't. You need it, we take care of it. If you don't need it, we don't need it. You know?
But you know what he really had was that happiness.
Yeah, it was about his family. Yeah. And that's what's important. So, anyways, going back to Hawaii. You know, like get there. You know, my daughter had just played one season for Valley Athletic Association in the rec. You know, she was 5 years old. The first little thing. We go to Hawaii. You know, and we're like, okay, let's try to find a soccer program or whatever. And so she goes to this camp, and it was pro extreme with the Honolulu Bulls. You know, she had fun. They liked her. They wanted her to come on, so she did. And then as things got rolling, like I didn't grow up playing soccer, but I grew up with a lot of people who did. So Apple Valley back in my day was a ton of soccer. Like,
how old are you?
I'm 41.
Okay, I'm 43, and I mean I know those days.
Yeah,
you know,
I graduated in '95. I think the year I graduated, both the boys and the girls won.
Apple Valley was big around there.
We were dominant, man.
For sure.
And like, I grew up, you know, playing in the playgrounds at elementary school with these kids, but I didn't play. You know, I never played anything and was never involved. But when I got back involved in Hawaii, and like I started seeing it, memories came back, and I'm like, oh man, I remember seeing them do like headers and bicycle kicks, you know, in practice, and you know, because they were intense, you know. Yeah. And like it brought back tons of memories, and like I just got more and more involved, and then I started to know too much. You know, that moment of you start to see things and you start to go, okay, well, maybe we could adjust this, maybe, you know.
Sure.
And so things just started rolling. You know, like I ended up in a conversation for about 2 hours with a guy starting a street soccer company. It was Kaye, and they were out of Utah, BYU, and they were all college students. They won a business plan thing, and you know, they had a street ball and they were trying to promote the street game. So I had this conversation with him, and it was, you know, a couple hours, like I said, and it had a lot to do with culture. It had a lot to do with culture and why he was doing what he was doing, and it made me realize what we needed to do for Jacob's development. Like, and well, I shouldn't say Jacob's, you know, Asia doesn't play anymore, but both my kids, I looked at it and go, if they want to be soccer players, they need to grow up in an environment of it, you know. So never played, coached a little bit, you know. I started a pickup game Monday in the lot, street soccer. We're playing in a parking lot, you know, just little goals, 2-foot goals, you know, and put it out there on MySpace, you know, like stalked people, you know, like look through scoring records and see who all the high school top scorers were, found them on MySpace, looked who all the college kids were that were at all the colleges in Hawaii at the time, because I mean, there's only so many, right?
Right.
You know, like you can look at it in your little area or whatever. I hunted them all down.
And you're on one island.
On MySpace. You know, hey, we're doing a pickup game, street soccer, you know, and just put it out there to everybody. First night, 2 kids came. Yeah, okay. This kind of sucks, you know?
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I still follow, like, we're friends on Facebook. I still follow them. I know who they are.
Sure.
You know, I've been following them for 10 years. Still playing, you know, they're awesome kids. They never came back. That's fine. Sure. Next week, another bunch comes. Okay, some of those kids came back, some of them didn't. Next week, more come. You know, but we kept it regular every night. That's why it was called Monday in the Lot. Every Monday, I made sure it's going to be in a place where we can do it with regularity and just keep it going. We don't do Monday in the Lot anymore. It's not in that same location.
Okay.
But a lot of those guys we kind of moved it, and we're now at Wilson Park Mondays and Wednesdays, 7 to 7:30 p.m. You can start. Every time I go back to Hawaii, I go. You know, I can go play.
There.
I know I can go play. You know, so it's that kind of impact. You know, little things.
That's amazing.
But so, you know, like that was the start of it. We did a 5-a-side. It was futsal.
Sure.
We called it futsal. We played on grass.
Sure.
You use what you have. Whatever
Absolutely.
it is, you know, and like,
I hear you, man.
And I've heard that from more than one person, and like people who are true to the game, you know, Jorge Bort, who ended up bringing some teams over from Kauai. This guy in the 80s was involved in U.S. futsal. He came from Argentina. He said the same thing. He said, Jason, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, use whatever you have, do it, put out the game. They'll learn, you'll find ways later on, you know, just do it. So we did, we kept doing it. People loved it. They loved the small side game.
Dude, you're hitting on so many points right now that really hit home to me. Just from a business perspective. So, you know, you start your futsal thing out, your Monday night stuff, and you get 2 people, and you're like, crap, what the hell? But it's so interesting that you bring that up, because just from a business standpoint, okay, I mean, it's the long term. You have to view the long term success. That short term stuff, which in today's day and age where people are all about instant gratification, they don't see that. Absolutely. Like, this is truly a journey. The reason why I named what I'm doing, it's the journey, because it truly is very much a journey.
They're learning, you know. I mean, like, when you put a 4-year-old out on the field around a bunch of kids, he may not be moving around, but he's learning. He's making all those same connections. When you have a baby and you're talking to him and he's not talking back, is he not learning? I mean,
they're absorbing everything.
Yes, you can learn through osmosis. Yes, you absorb it. It's like I said, it's the same thing with language. The earlier you start, the earlier all those mental connections. I mean, like, you reached out to me because I went back to school, right? So in psychology, this is literally what we were talking about, is about those mental connections, that if those neural connections are not made as an infant, they go away.
Sure.
As you get older, they go away.
Sure.
So now U.S. soccer, but Minnesota soccer, we're starting at U9. U9.
Yeah.
Can you imagine trying to have a kid not start learning to speak till 9?
Until 9.
Let's not do math till 9. Let's not read till 9. Look at all these things, all these other things. No. Start them early. And then the other thing is, and I don't know who I was talking to recently, we were talking about hockey. So
sure.
Minnesota gets hockey. Let's start them at 6. But soccer, no.
Yeah.
They can't start till 9. Too, like, even as a coach, like I've been caught, and like, and then you realize, and the positive goes so much further,
doesn't it?
And it lasts so much longer,
doesn't it?
And that's another core of like our camps. Like we do a lot of work, we do a lot of footwork, but we also try to make everything fun. We're laughing all day long and joking, and not like, oh, you suck, like every once in a while it'll be like that, but then they're like, you suck, come back in, like, but it's that kind of like whatever joking, and it's not like down on people, because if they have the passion and the persistence, they will succeed. Period. In anything. Your journey. That's what it's about.
Yeah.
It's about passion and persistence. Yeah. Period. But I tell you what, there's some really good people out there. There's a guy in New Jersey, Danny. He does A-game. He's just like you. He's got just girls.
I know A-game.
Talking about.
Yeah.
450 girls a week that he's training.
Wow.
450 girls, and you know what? The clubs are pissed. Why are they pissed? Why are you training my kids? You can't go get outside train. What kind of bull is that? So he has no intention of taking their players.
Right.
Zero.
Right. Zero
intention. All he wants to do, make them better, send them back to you, into your system, so they can achieve.
Why would you not want that as a club?
Fear. You're making us look bad. You're doing no. What he's doing is not what a team does.
Yes.
And that's the other thing, is people don't understand that, is that, like, it's hard for me because right now, like with our culture and where we're at, like with what I'm having to do with my teams, a lot of it, I'm having to do a lot of skill stuff. Even with my 15s, and I shouldn't.
Yeah.
The foundation should be there, you know. So that's why we're doing all the other stuff, is to build the foundation. So that when they're 15 and the coach says, "Hey, this is what I want you to do. I want you to make this pass here," they can execute it.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. I want to be able to create kids who can execute what you want and have the ability and creativity, to add to it. But they're scared because we're making them look bad. But no, do you do the best at what you do, and you won't have any problems. If you're coaching and you're being a leader and you're teaching them how to play the game, tactics, all that stuff, they will follow, and they're not going to leave you. They're getting help from me to work on their foot skills so they can come back to you. I mean, I'll tell you, there's people today who still would think I'm a Honolulu Bull, and not that I'm not, I'm super grateful for all the opportunities with them.
Absolutely.
And I still am connected to the club. I still know kids in the club. Love and respect, absolutely. That was Jacob's club when he grew up. That's the environment, and that's the environment I model a lot of the stuff after, as far as what I see is how a club should be structured. Because they were a club. They were about, Jacob at 6 years old knew players all the way up through the men's team on this club. That's a club. That's family, and that's what clubs here don't get. Family. It's more than that. And I keep trying to preach this to my teams, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're family, because we're creating memories,
For sure.
And it takes hard work and dedication, and some of the stuff sucks. But that's what makes it so magical.
And when you do it together, together, right? Like the stuff that sucks that you do together, that brings you together so much.
Anything.
Absolutely.
More than anything. I mean, this year, like my teams, are we winning huge championships? No. But the last 2 weekends, my boys won 2 tournaments with 10 people in the championship. Okay, so we weren't playing, the state cup.
Sure.
That was hard.
Yeah.
No subs.
Yeah.
No nothing.
Yeah.
At times we had to go drop down to 9 because of injuries.
Yeah.
Still played through. The game yesterday went to PKs. We freaking won.
And they're never going to forget that.
They're never going to forget that.
They're never going to forget that.
Ever forget that.
Yeah.
Last Thursday, one of our players, he's moving in a couple months. He had surgery on Friday. It was his last game with us. We won 3-0. He scored the final goal. See, maybe it's not U.S. soccer that I should be worried about. Maybe it's mom and pop out there, because the reality is, and I'm going to tell you through experience, I was you. My daughter does not play soccer right now. It's because of me as a parent being too hard and having too high of expectations for her, and expecting her to live my dream. My son, it was different. Her personalities are different too.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so that's part of it. But I'm going to tell you, as a parent, I was way too hard on my daughter. I wanted her to achieve so bad, because I didn't. So bad. Because of my mistakes with her, I was able to correct and create a better environment for him. We always have to look at the makeup of our team. So in the beginning of the year, I had some boys with me that were part of our team just because the rest of their team wasn't, or they were doing high school. So they kind of came down with us.
Sure.
Athletic beasts, fast. Okay, this is how we're playing. We're playing direct.
Yeah.
That's what we have.
Yeah.
Those guys leave. We try to do the same thing. Guys,
it's not the same.
Guys, it's not going to work. Those guys aren't here.
Yeah.
They're not here. We don't have that. What you have is technical ability. I had a player come to me yesterday. We were talking, I'm not good, I don't score goals. I was like, yeah, you don't need to score a goal to be good. One of the best players in the world, Xavi Hernandez, how many goals did he score in his professional career?
Right.
In his entire professional career.
Right. Exactly.
How many? I honestly don't know, but I think it was 1. We contribute in different ways, and we have to recognize how we contribute. I mean, just like you've recognized with a girl, hey, here's how I can contribute. I can work with the girls. With the journey, hey, here's how I can contribute. I can share people's stories. Yeah. I've recognized I love working with the young. I mean, I love my 15s. I do. Totally different. Working with, I work with boys, girls, everything's different. I love working with them, but I know for my long term and what I'm trying to do in the grand scheme of things, the youngest ones, they're where it starts. They're that foundation. Had I stayed in Hawaii, we'd be huge right now. I promise. I know, because all the little ones who've been developed, I see where they're doing right now.
Yeah.
I saw a team win regionals last year. That those girls were all at my camps forever. I've got pictures of them. I miss them,
Yeah.
And it's hard, because sometimes I want to reach out and be like, hey, are you going to come to camp? And I feel like they're going to think it's because of the money. It's like, no, I want to see you.
Yeah.
I haven't seen you I miss you. I remember when you were tiny, and now you're 13, and
They know that.
I hope so.
They know that though, man.
But and then when they're now, some of them are starting to come back and be able to help.
Yeah.
So it's coming full circle.
For sure.
So kids that were at my first camp are now coaching. And we're developing them as coaches, and that's why.
Coaches and people.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, we're developing
so much
confidence and character.
Exactly.
It's not just about the players; it's the coaches. My friend Freddie, he helped me. He helped me a lot. Not just because he was there, but his impacts on how I do things. And he lived that same way. He wanted to do everything for the kids. He did not do this, for his own personal reasons. It was all about the kids. He did a lot for the kids, and stories that I was told, I was just blown away by, and it's touching. So that's we try to create that environment. We try to keep growing the kids as kids, as people, as because coaching develops you as an adult too.
It sure
leadership
does.
skills helps you learn how to be a little bit more mature and responsible.
Communicate.
Yes.
Right.
All those things. In order to make it work and try to make both of our dreams work, we chose to have my wife go with him to California, and for me to stay in Hawaii and continue to build, because I knew if we left then, it was done.
Sure.
I Got Skills was done.
Sure.
I was probably done, because I'd have to go there and get a job, and whatever. I felt like it was done. So we made that choice and gave my daughter the option: do you want to stay or do you want to go? She chose to go. Being that, it was just me. It's just me working. I'm working in restaurants. I'm running my programs. I'm running leagues. I'm running tournaments. I'm running camps. And, I'm all in.
You're hustling, man.
Staying,
hustling.
It was all off the cuff. I was just doing it to do it. I had to pay bills and I had to hustle to get money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it wasn't. I was staying true to what I wanted to do. I was working. I was making really good money as a server too. Okay. And Waikiki, tourist, great restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Worked my ass off. Hey, even there, people didn't like me at first.
Yeah.
Didn't matter. I'm gonna get got 30 shifts, got 30 sections. What the I can get mad. I can complain. I can cry. I can go home. I can quit, or I can make the best out of it and go work my ass off. That's what I did. I would have the worst section and be one of the top sales because I'd hustle.
Yeah.
Oh, would you like chicken with that? Add on whatever. Oh, would you like this? Whatever I had to do because it's about making the best out of your situation. You see my office, right?
Yeah.
It's that side is all. This is all. You see the pretty side right now, right? That side's all storage. Well, so Hawaii, I need a storage unit. I got a lot of stuff. I got more than I got here. Can I go rent a room with somebody? What the hell am I going to do with all my stuff?
Right.
And it costs money for storage.
Absolutely, it does.
So, I'm cheap there. So trying to figure out what the best situation is, and said, here's what we're going to do. I've already got a storage unit. Let's get a slightly bigger one. I got a van. I chose to live out of my van for a year. I didn't know how long it was going to be.
Sure.
We're we got to do this. I got to get you into an apartment up there. Obviously, you can't be the ones that are homeless.
Yeah.
And
Two kids.
I shouldn't say homeless. It was houseless. Did what I had to do. I found certain spots that I figured I wouldn't be bothered and slept in my van. Go to the storage unit. I had a power to it. It was my office too.
Wow.
Imagine this, but it's a storage unit.
Yeah.
Hawaii self-storage. I still have a unit there. That's where we keep everything.
Sure.
They've been great, and I know there's other people that live out of there. I know there are.
Yeah. Dude, that's real.
As much as I was there, absolutely. And there's people that are building businesses out of storage units. If you asked me about my shirts earlier and the shirts that were done. He's not in a storage unit anymore, but when he started, he was in a storage unit. Cheap space, guys. You don't need a office. You don't need office space.
Yeah.
The real tip.
For sure.
Find what you can, and use it. Everything, use it. I had grass. I could get access to grass. We do futsal on grass. Futsal ball, futsal rules, everything futsal, but grass.
It's okay.
Oh well.
Oh well.
Work out of a storage unit. It's not pretty. Who cares? You're getting the job done.
Exactly.
Be pretty. Do what you got. If you got money, cool. Do what you got there too. You have opportunity. Use it. I'm not against that.
Yeah, I'm not against it either. But I think for someone that goes through your situation and goes through other situations like that, where you're doing the grit and the grind, and you have to put stuff together and find a way to put stuff. I mean, I'm carrying around wooden futsal goals that I've built, right? And I've found ways to build these goals that makes them.
Yeah. Bonet.
Yeah.
Help us out, Mark.
So we do what we have to do to get things done and make it work for, in our case, the kids.
And everything was going really good. Jacob went to California, and he was a friend of mine. He started playing on his team, but he tried out for Chivas USA.
Okay.
They said, we like you.
Yeah.
But because of the time that you're coming in, our roster's full.
Okay.
But if you want, you can train with us.
It's great.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Hell yeah. Ted, thank you.
For
Teddy
sure.
Chronopoulos, dude, thank you. He didn't get games, and that's fine. He was in a real training environment.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. And then so you know who Brian Kleben is in 343 and
Yeah.
Okay, so Brian was at Chivas. He was the next age group up.
Okay.
Jacobson 01. Brian had the 2000s. So everything we're in the right path.
Sure.
They were loving him. He's warming up. Everyone knew he was set to be a starter next year.
Wow.
He was thriving. He was in that right environment. He was thriving.
Wow.
My knee went out on me. When I was young, I tore my ACL.
Okay.
Apparently didn't have an ACL since then. 35 years old, I'm playing, banging the shit on my meniscus, you know, like, if you don't know what a meniscus is, it's the padding between your knees, so boom, 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 you know, blew it out, went to go see the doctor, tell me what it is. By the way, you don't have an ACL, so we're gonna, you know, I need knee surgery. I'm a server, man. I'm a server. If I don't work a certain amount of hours in a week, I lose my insurance. I had just lost my insurance. I just lost my insurance.
So for everyone out there, because a lot of them are kids that watch us, right?
So, yeah.
I just want to say that, like, when you're like, if you're graduating from college or if you're just getting a job, everybody looks at the dollar amount and they don't look at the fact that they're getting health insurance along with that.
Yeah.
Insurance.
Get it. You need it.
It's so big. That's such a big part of the salary that kids don't fully understand because they've been on mom and dad's insurance or whatever.
It's crazy important.
It is so important. So don't just look at that salary
and be
amount.
aware of it. And if it means working 3 extra hours a week, work that extra 3 hours a week, because I lost it. So that was the first time my knee went out. I apologize because it's a little bit longer. So then it happened again. I got my insurance back. I was able to get knee surgery. But because I have knee surgery, I still can't work.
Sure.
You know, like, I don't make money from wages. I make money from tips.
Tips.
You know, that's where my money's at, you know? So I'm out, you know, like, and I'm a trooper. Like, literally, I was coaching the same day I had surgery.
Wow.
My friend picked me up, brought me home, got back in my truck, went to my training. I'm out there on my crutches. Bro, I remember going to a UH game, and, you know, I'm on my crutches, kids are messing around, and the ball came to me, and I, like, did a little something. I megged the kid, you know, and they're like, I'm forever the guy that megged him on crutches, you know? Like,
I love it.
You know?
I love it.
But you know, I couldn't work.
Sure.
You know, like, I can get around, I can do things, but I can't wait tables.
No.
So I'm out of work, you know, trying to do my hustle. But, you know, now I just lost a major source of income.
Sure.
Okay. Or, you know, like, what do I do? Brought the family back. Okay. Brooke family comes back. We get stuff rearranged. You know, this was right about a year, because I actually had just moved into my friend's apartment. He didn't know he had no idea. Maybe he figured it out. Tom, I don't know. He doesn't know how much, you know, like, sometimes little things that we do, he doesn't know that he brought me out of homelessness. Yeah. Him being able to give me a room, and, you know, I paid rent, but he gave me an opportunity that he doesn't know how much that impacted.
Wow.
Right? Like, you know, we never know. You know, so I was there for a little bit, and my knee goes out. I've got to bring the family back. We go back to living with her grandfather, and just, you know, go back to work. You know, as soon as I can, I go back to my hustle. My wife goes back to her hustle. Go at it for a few months. Boom. We all go back to California this time.
Okay.
And this time, we're gonna make it. Right? Set to go. Everything's set.
Chivas.
Chivas is good to go. We get back. Chivas just blew up. Yeah, they imploded. So the year before, they lost Teddy because he didn't speak Spanish.
Okay.
Don't know if you ever read any about that.
I haven't. No.
Didn't speak Spanish. A lot of stuff went on. He got fired. Jacob still played for the club the next year. Still felt like it was the right environment. We see Brian right there. You know, love what he was doing.
Sure.
Club falls apart. So they're at that point where we're only taking DA teams. We're finishing out this year, and then it's it. So
wow.
Jacob, U14 was the year. He's a U13. 1 year off. Again, we thought we were in the perfect environment, right?
Right.
Best at the time, best development club in the nation, without a doubt. In my opinion,
really,
best club. Absolutely, the crew that was there, absolutely phenomenal coaching staff, phenomenal.
And it blew up.
But it came from the top,
sure,
because, you know, all the problems with whatever. So no more Chivas. We're gonna sell it. It's gonna become LAFC, but we're not gonna continue the academy. We're gonna cut it, and we're gonna start anew.
For those technical players in this country,
yeah,
Okay, one's like your son.
Yep.
One's like in all of these different ethnic communities around the country.
Do you want to be more specific and say smaller? Do you want, because it's not just technical. I mean, if you're tall and technical, you're fine. You're not going to have a problem in this country. If you're small and technical, let's be more specific. If you're Asian, if you're Hispanic, you're going to struggle. You're going.
So what? Okay.
Physically built. I'm 5'4". Like, it's not a race thing.
Right.
But
it's physicality.
Hispanic and Asian, typically smaller.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. Yeah.
Just putting the cards on the. This is what it is.
Genetics.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, you're going to struggle in this country because what do we like? Big, strong, fast. Everything is about size in this country.
Yes.
Just look at our cars compared to any other country. Any other country.
Yeah.
Look at them.
That's a great analogy. That's a great analogy.
Like the first time I was in Europe, I told you about that. Like I was blown away. Wait, you know, the minis that we have are actually kind of big.
They are.
And people don't know that. They think they're tiny. No, they're big.
Dude, when I was in Europe
a few years ago, society.
Yeah. When I was in Europe a few years ago, there was a smart car, and it was parked the other way.
Yeah.
Because it could. Yeah. Because it's so damn small.
It's like a square, right?
Yeah. It was parked facing out on the street. I loved it. It was amazing. Okay, so for the technical, smaller kids in this country. This goes on the boys' side and the girls' side, by the way, right?
Girls are getting the girls are getting a little bit more love. They're getting the technical girls are getting more love.
I love to hear that
because there's less of them, and so they're more noticeable on the field.
Okay.
So like people that I know, that are national team, that have been playing since they were 5 and 6 years old. They didn't wait till they're 9. Okay, all super technical.
Okay.
Small.
I like to hear that.
One of the. Well, I'm sorry. So Sunshine. She's technical. She's a finisher though. She's a goal scorer.
Sure.
She's a natural, forward. My daughter played against her when they were like 6 years old.
Okay.
Always has been a goal scorer. Phenomenal. Nice family. Aislinn Crowder, skinny girl, really skinny, technical as hell. Jacob trained with her back in the day.
Sure.
Tati Fung, who is now in California, so people don't recognize that she's a Hawaiian. Yeah, well, I mean, she is actually Hawaiian, but like that she's from that culture. Again, these kids all grew up in the same culture. Jacob grew up in the same culture as these kids at a young age. We created a really special environment. It's not just me. It wasn't just me. There were other people. Just Yasutaki, School of Soccer. I mean, there were other groups that were so focused on technical and working with the young ones that they developed, and then they have that passion too.
Sure.
Because when you're good and you're young, you have so much confidence, Derek Kato, who's a coach out there, he once said to me, we were talking about juggling. He said, I don't know if juggling necessarily, being able to juggle 1,000 necessarily makes you that much better of a player than if you can juggle 100 or whatever, with something to that effect, right? He's like, but if you're 8 years old and you can do 1,000 juggles, the confidence that you feel when you walk on that field. Now, I disagree with him. I do think that juggling brings a lot of technical ability and, read the ball, touch, all those things.
That.
But let's ignore that for a moment, and let's just think about that, and let's go back to confidence.
That's big.
You believe in yourself when you step on the field.
The confidence piece is huge.
You enjoy.
Yeah.
If you don't believe in yourself, you're scared. You don't enjoy that. And so that's why, again, we have to go back to that self-belief. I know these don't believe in you, but I do.
Yeah. True. That's true.
And so the small players, we got to stick out because it's going to take longer. And I don't know enough about all the schools, so I'm not making judgments, and I'm not calling colleges out and whatever else, but just in general.
Yeah.
And let's be fair to those coaches too. They don't have them enough. How do you run a program for only a couple months and let the kids run on their own for 9? That's not on the coaches. I can't blame the coaches.
That's NCAA.
Right. I can't.
No.
So when I say this about, again, I'm not saying, oh, you all suck.
No, not at all.
I'm saying
the system as a whole.
It's not a good environment because the way everything's set up. I truly believe if they had those kids for 9 to 11 months or something like that they could develop and would develop.
I agree, 100%.
And our landscape would be totally different.
I always use the analogy of I don't care what you want to do and be good at.
Right.
But if you put in the time, if you want to be a piano player, but can only play piano for 2 months out of the year, you're going to be crap.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna miss out.
You will.
You're gonna miss out on a lot. You'll get really good in those 2 months, and then you're gonna lose it all.
Yeah.
And then when you go back at it a year later to do your another 2 months, you're gonna spend your first month relearning.
Yes.
And then you get a little bit better. But then you go back and you're relearning.
Yeah.
And you get a little bit better instead of just constantly
Learning.
building. Yeah. And that's that difference between a little bit every day versus, a lot at one time. A little bit every day, even with language. I reference language a lot because I think it's important, and I think it goes along with a lot of things, If it's hard. And there's a lot of things that are native to it, you know what I mean? There's nuances and fine things. So like
Sure.
I can say, hey, how are you? But the way I say it is not going to, in any other language than English, is not going to sound natural or fluent or any of that. That if you spend 15 minutes a day learning language, it's way more effective than spending 1 hour a week.
Absolutely.
That little bit, because you're constantly building. You're not always relearning, or you're just relearning that little bit. That little gap. That gap from yesterday to today. Same thing like with soccer, right? And I talked about Jacob juggling when he was growing up. So he's done 15,000 now. He did that a couple months ago. He did his first 100 at 6.
Wow.
He did his first 1,000 at 8. He did 10,000 he had just turned 12. But it was because of a little bit every day. And what I had to explain to him, I said, Jacob, you have to do it every day because your little body is growing every single day.
Sure.
Every day there's a difference. Every day. So if you skip days, you have to readjust to your body first before it gets back to it. And it's that same thing with everything else that we do. We have to readjust. If you work hard and go on the weekends, what's Monday? It's readjustment, right?
Yep, exactly.
Right. Now, I'm not saying you have to go work on the weekends, and I'm not saying any of that, but we have to understand what that is. And yeah, if you only do spurts, you're only going to get spurts.
Yeah.
If you want growth, it's long term. It's little bit by little bit. It's eating away at it.
Yeah.
I
So
love
big.
the quote of it took me 10 years to become an overnight success.
Love that.
Absolutely. It's grit, it's grind that people don't see.
It is.
It's working out of storage units. It's whatever you're doing, whatever you're doing that you're doing because you have to. Flying cars, putting the work. Dude, it's effective.
Yeah.
Who wants to do it? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go walk on a hot day putting flyers on a car to promote whatever you're doing? Because whatever business you're doing, you could be doing that right now and gaining business. Period. It's that easy.
That's truth.
But you have
That's truth.
You have to be willing to put in the work and do the dirty stuff.